What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over 5 games that we should hear more of in August. I was thinking, okay, we go into August and we get the Black Myths of the world, we get the Star Wars Outlaws of the world. It's the start of the wave of the fall period of games, right? But what makes August special is not just the couple pretty big games that are releasing. It's not even just Gamescom, where we should fill in the blanks of the release schedule and, games like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 or Arkham Shadow and stuff like that. But also, you think to the September and maybe even October games, they should really start to, roll out the red carpet, and any, last second questions for these games should kind of be revealed. So that's what this video is going to be doing, going over 5 games. I try to pick games that have actual release dates. We know they're coming out, and I try to stick to September, October, because I try to give it that 1 to 2 month range, right? So a game like Dragon Age, I think, is probably like November or December. We probably won't hear too much about it until maybe September, October, so on, so on. So the first one that came to my mind and why I kind of wanted to make the video in the first place, Silent Hill 2. I made a video specifically talking about Silent Hill 2, and it's just, we're in an area where it's been quite a bit since we last saw it. I mean, quite a bit. It's been like, a month and a half, but, in the gaming industry, that can seem like years, right? And then you go over the next couple months, the game comes out early October. I still think there are some questions or concerns from the community, and you probably got, one more big chance to, re-reveal it one final time, and again, answer those questions, do a longer game breakdown type things. And that's what a lot of these games, I think, kind of need, is just sit down with the game, whether it's a developer diary, whether it's, you have a journalist do it, and it's like some big preview. Pretty much every game gets that, but some sort of sit down, uncut type thing where you just play the game and you kind of talk us through it. And I like to see that pretty much for every game under the sun. But I think that would actually serve Silent Hill 2 quite well, because you'll get more of the, okay, we've seen flashes, like we've seen battles with enemies, we've seen different locations, we've seen different characters. Let's just not cut it, right? Not cut anything. Just walk James from one spot to the next, and let's see what it's like. And you can narrate, you can talk over, and I think that would give quite a few things away in a positive way, right? Maybe it would say to people, to fans, oh, okay, like the atmosphere and the tone, like maybe you've gotten that. I don't know if you can fully tell based off trailers, whether you've captured those things, but you probably could in uncut gameplay, right? So Silent Hill 2 is the first one that came to my head, where early October, could they wait till September for a PlayStation showcase type thing? Yes, but I just feel, when you get to mid-September, you're getting into the preview territory, last second previews, and then you're getting closer to codes going out, by the end of the month, and then the game comes out. So I really think August is the last chance to really, delve deep into stuff. I guess you could also do it, in September as everything else is happening, but I just feel like August makes the most sense. Next up is a game, at least the day I'm recording this, that got a release date, and it's the casting of Frank Stone. Now, I think this game looks interesting. I think this game looks cool, and I've generally been a fan of Supermassive games. They're up and down, and they've made some really, I think, they've made some pretty bad games. But they've also made some of my favorite games of all time, like Until Dawn, which is one of my top games ever created. So I have general confidence that they'll do an okay job. But no, game looks good in the trailers. They need exactly what I said. And Supermassive does this. They've done it with The Devil in Me. I know House of Ashes did it. They always do a 10-15 minute breakdown, whether it's a developer diary. I think The Devil in Me was a 30-minute thing where they talked to the creative director and they were also showing gameplay. House of Ashes, I think, was just pure gameplay. It was maybe 15 or so minutes. I like that a lot. And again, I think that gets you into the world, and it lets us kind of see maybe some of the more diehard Supermassive fans, right? What exactly has changed from the last game? Sometimes very little changes. They're not. That's why they need to maybe slow down. But you can tell that from something like this. So this game, there's even more urgency, because they give the release date on July 16th. Game comes out September 3rd. You got a month and a half. And I mean, there doesn't seem to be that much buildup for this game. They've got to create that. And I think that happens, it has to happen in August. I want to throw in Astrobot. Now, I say throw in because 2 different things to say. Number one, I don't actually think we need more for Astrobot. So this is the only, I think, actually looking at my list here, it's the only one that I would say we don't really need it, but we'll probably get it, right? Kind of that line where, a lot of these games I think kind of need to show something. Astrobot, I feel like has enough fan, feedback. It has enough fan love they are doing there's interviews and new news and all sorts of stuff in the month of July. There's been stuff like every other week or every week, right? So I don't really think it needs to happen, but it is a pretty sizable game, depending on maybe it sells a couple million or whatever, but I think it's a sizable game. And I think as you go through August, considering it comes out like September 6th or something, right? You don't have any time in September. So August is the last chance, right? That's when the previews, which we kind of already got previews over like that E3 type period, right, in June, but maybe one more time in August. So I don't think it needs it. I think it's going to do what it's going to do right now, regardless of what happens in August. But I think just because of, PlayStation and it's a bigger-ish game, comes out very early September, there's no time in September, so you have to, anything left to do would be in August. Okay, next up, I'm going to go with the Lollipop Chainsaw Remaster. This is one that I actually feel quite passionate about, even though, I rarely talk about it, but I think Lollipop Chainsaw, the original, is a very interesting, very different game. I actually liked it, right? There's always been that divide of like, yeah, it is cool or different, but like, is it actually a good game? I think it is a good game. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but it's getting a remaster, and it's at the end of September. Now, the issue is that I have is, they took their sweet time, giving us the release date. We got the release date, in June, that it's going to be in September. And the amount of stuff that they've shown from this game has been disgusting. Okay, I mean, no offense to, because I do like the game, and I think the remaster is going to be fine. But like the amount of stuff that they've shown on this has been very, very little. And you have 2 months. You have 2 months, almost to the day that this game will come out, and there's already kind of that feedback or again like perception from fans where like, is this just like literally a reskin? And to be honest with you, at least from my perspective, you don't need, like if you're doing a remaster, you don't need to change a lot from this game. One of the main things the developers have talked about with this game is not wanting to mess, with what made it special. So they're kind of leaving it alone, save for a few things here and there. So yeah, I mean, granted, what can you show? But at the same time, just give us like a 5-minute, like do we have like a minute and a half, 2 minutes of this game just like in general? We really don't have a lot. So game comes out very soon. I know it's just a remaster, but this game is somewhat hard to obtain. It's another one of those examples of games that's trapped on past gen. Like, people will get this game. I'm going to get this. I think it's important to get this game just to kind of have it, because it's harder to get, the older gen version of it. So I hope we see a little bit more of it, as the months progress. And the last one that I feel, again, very, very passionate on, maybe the most passionate of this entire group, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. You got 1 month, guys, if you're watching this video. I highly doubt it. But no, this game comes out, I think, September 3rd, right? It's on PS Plus. You're going to have people that play it. People are, number one, still kind of confused on this game, and they shouldn't be, but that's because of NDAs and all sorts of other stuff. You gotta open the floodgates. You got to let people play it. You got to have these previews happen. You got to have extended gameplay. You got to have interviews with the developers. Please. I think this game can be very good. I feel very confident in that. I think this game is going to be a special game. You just got to let people start to see it, because what we've seen so far has been divisive, and it's been divisive because you haven't really shown anything. You know what I mean? Trailers that kind of set the tone and set the scene obviously hasn't gone well with the community. Maybe not with somebody like me, it's gone fine, but with other people. So this is a game that I am probably the most passionate. Well, Astrobot I think is probably going to be the best game from this list, but Quidditch Champions I think can be a rock solid game, a really good game, and one that I'm very, very excited to be able to play. They just gotta start to show it, and they are running out of time, and it's actually kind of shocking that we're a month and a half. I think a game like this might be one of the worst, like this and casting of Frank Stone, but Frank Stone's had like 3 or so trailers. Quidditch has only had the 1. This is probably like the worst example of this group of like probably how you don't do it. Is it's so, and again, that's no disrespect to the developers. I think they're working hard. I think they're making a good game. So don't take it the wrong way. But, this is a game that comes out tied with Frank Stone for the earliest game on this list, right? This is the soonest game. And they've shown maybe arguably the least besides like Lollipop Chainsaw. That's gotta change. Otherwise, like, why are you sending this game out at this point to kind of like fizzle out? It doesn't deserve that at all. So we'll see what happens. But, as you can tell, I'm probably most passionate about that one. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.